What's the barriers that keep you from finding the success and consistency that you know you desire as a trader? For some of you, you're just too new to even reach for that right now. And that's realistic. It may not feel realistic for you as a new trader because you want it right now at this very moment. But you're going to have to submit to some development time. How about the folks that have been doing this for 12 months or longer? Perhaps you've been doing it longer than 2 years. Heck, some of you probably have been doing it over 5, maybe even 10 years, and they've never found consistency or profitability. But you simply won't let it go, will you? You ever consider what those problematic things are that provide barriers to your development? Perhaps they have nothing to do with the things going on in the chart. Perhaps they're internal. Have you ever considered yourself pondering whether or not you deserve to be successful? And that sounds silly. Some of you may snicker to that, thinking, who would think that? I'm not submitting the idea that you are willingly and knowingly doing these things, but consider for a moment, perhaps you have such a deep-rooted event or a lack of just mental health. But perhaps maybe you lost a parent. Maybe you lost a spouse or a child. And that deep-rooted grief is gnawing at you internally. And perhaps that's been a barrier for you. Perhaps you don't believe you deserve to be successful, because to be successful and to be financially independent means that you've moved on. And some of us, whether we want to accept it or not, hold on to these things as mental barriers, living in deep-rooted self-guilt. Have you ever considered the possibility that the lack that you have in understanding the marketplace in a consistent capacity really has nothing to do with the trading? I can tell you, as a young man, when I first was introduced to the marketplace, I really wasn't that astute. I didn't have any real interest. I was intrigued, but I didn't believe I deserved to be successful. I didn't believe that there's no better way to describe it, deserved it. I didn't believe that I had the deserving characteristics of what makes a successful trader successful. I didn't believe I had it, because I allowed initial input from my family members saying, well, this is a pipe dream, Michael. You're wasting your time. Don't waste your time doing this. You're going to lose everything you have, Michael. You're going to waste your time doing this. And I believed it. I believed it for a long time, until I found more information about trading, and then I had a taste of what it was like to have success. Because some of you all know that my first trade was in an orange juice option, and I lost half of what I put up for the premium in one day. But I still couldn't let go of the willingness to see, could it happen for me? I had a lottery mentality. Not that I deserved it internally. I didn't see it like that. I looked at it as, it's the lottery, and I might get lucky. And as it were, I did get lucky. Even during the initial 3 to 4 months of success I was having, albeit by luck, I was making money consistently. But I was too afraid to say anything to anyone, because I would jinx it. Because internally, what I was hearing was the playback of every one of my family members and friends. Still to this day, I can still remember hearing the voice in my head. My uncle was dating a woman, and she just was a very cynical person. Nothing good came out of her mouth, nothing positive. He said, oh, well, you'll be working the rest of your life just like the rest of us. And I looked at her and I was like, you know what? What if she's right? What if she's right and I have to do this the rest of my life? I didn't want to. And I didn't want to accept that as my future. But because I heard it not only from her, but my other family members, that it was something that just doesn't happen for people like me. It sat with me and it gnawed at me. And I wouldn't let it go. And I wouldn't accept the pleasure of being profitable